Hello. Hello. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Des Roulette and I make videos on makeup, weight loss, movies, fashion, reviews, and unboxings. But today I'm finally going to do my 50 facts about me video. I feel like I've been intending on making this video for months. I don't know how long. I'm sorry about the lighting, by the way. I'm like sitting on the floor. I moved my camera 100 different times because I just can't film somewhere right now that has decent lighting. First of all, I want to say to all of my new subscribers, welcome guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Hopefully you're happy here and you'll stay for a long time. I remember it was just in August maybe that I hit 100 subscribers and now I'm up to 190 or so today, so thank you. I know a lot of you probably came from my egg fast video, but trust me, there's a lot more weight loss to come. I have an announcement. I am having gastric sleeve surgery on Monday. For whatever reason, a lot of people tend to react negatively when you tell them that you're having weight loss surgery. They think it's the easy way out. They think you're lazy, yada yada yada, but it's basically the same stuff that they think about you when you're fat. People think that all fat people are lazy, and I kind of am. I mean, I'm kind of a lazy person, I'll say that. Even when I was thin and I was going to the gym regularly, I still was never like a high energy person. Always been kind of low energy. I just haven't really found a way to announce that I was having the surgery. So I figured since I'm going in on Monday, which is just 3 days from now, that my 50 facts about me video would probably be a good place to mention it. Turns out that I'm gonna have 51 facts because my 51st fact is that I'm having weight loss surgery. So I guess this video is really the start of my new life. So, first fact, I was born in Montana. I live in New Jersey now. I've lived in New Jersey for many, many years, but I was born in the great, large, wide farmland state of Montana. Fact 2, I also lived in Canada when I was a kid. Fact number 3, I have siblings. I have 2 sisters and a brother. I have an older sister named Gabrielle, a younger sister named Miranda, and a younger brother named John. John and Miranda still live in Canada. My sister Gabrielle and I both live on the East Coast. She's in Brooklyn, I'm in North Jersey. Fact number 4, when I was a kid, I used to want to be a fashion designer, but I realized pretty early on that I wasn't very creative and I also wasn't like a good sketch artist. So then I decided that I wanted to be an actress and a singer instead. I've wanted to be a singer since I was probably 3 years old, but that wasn't like my only goal. 10 or 11 is when I was like, no, I want to be an actress and a singer. It didn't work out. Fact number 5, I had or have a speech impediment. When I was a kid, I could not pronounce my S's. I still talk kind of funny and have like a sort of lisp, and I'm assuming it's probably because of the way that I pronounce my S's or my inability to properly pronounce them. But I did have speech therapy when I was a little kid because we were trying to fix it. Fact number 6, I was a precocious little child. I was in day camp when I was a little kid and we had a slip and slide out. It was the summertime and everybody's just going down the slip and slide like normal, like on your belly or whatever, I think is how you're supposed to do it. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna be cool and I'm gonna do a split like Michael Jackson and I'm gonna go down the slip and slide in a split. I didn't know how to do a split. I was like a little kid, I was like 5. I tried to go down the slip and slide in a split and I broke my leg. And it was broken for a long time, it was bad. Oh, fact number 7. So I'm gonna jump around a little bit. After living in New Jersey, we actually ended up moving back to Montana when I was 11. We lived there for a little bit over a year and that would have been when I was in 6th grade. And I was actually homeschooled for half the year. I did the first half of the year in Montana Public School in Stevensville, which was the town we were living in. And then my mom pulled us out to homeschool us for the second half of the year. I basically didn't do any of the work at all. At this time, I got my first job ever. I worked on a horse farm, feeding the horses, brushing the horses, shoveling their poop, and I even learned how to wash horses. I would help with washing the horses with the hose, trying to keep them calm and steady. They start to panic when water hits the bottom of their neck. They try to like pull up like they think they're underwater. I pretty much cleaned out and shoveled out the whole barn every Saturday and also like brushed the horses and fed them every Saturday. I made $5 a week. I've had a lot of crazy jobs. Speaking of which, when we moved back to New Jersey when I was 12, I wanted to start taking guitar lessons. And I guess my mom didn't really want to pay for them. So my aunt had a friend who said she was willing to teach me guitar in exchange for house cleaning. So after I moved back to New Jersey, I cleaned this woman's house every week, I think, or every other week in exchange for guitar lessons. Needless to say, that did not last very long. She lived like in a wooded area, and all I can remember about cleaning her house was spiders. Not only did I not keep up with those lessons, I didn't really keep up with playing the guitar either. I'm not very good at it. On to my next job. I was a tattoo apprentice when I was 15. I lived in Scotch Plains at the time. We border a town called Plainfield. It's not the best area, so it's one of those spots that you can bend the rules a little bit and not really get caught. I have tattooed people. I've tattooed a lot of grapefruits and melons, and I think I've tattooed 3 people. Again, I didn't really stick with it. As much as I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to be more creative, I just wasn't that good at it. I just wasn't. It was there that I got my first tattoo, which is on the inside of my lip. It says PMA, which stands for Positive Mental Attitude. It's a little broken, but it's still there, which is crazy because it's almost 20 years old. See? Got that tattoo when I was 15. Fact number 13, speaking of wanting to be a singer and a songwriter and not being very talented as a creative artist, I'm also not a very good writer. I took everything way too seriously when I was a teenager, and I think a lot of people do. I would like write poetry. I never thought I was great, but I definitely took it like way too seriously to the point that it was kind of embarrassing. Fact number 14, when I was like 15, 16 years old, I worked in a bakery, but the owner ended up firing me because I reminded him of his rebellious daughter. He didn't tell me that's why I was fired, but my coworker told me that's why I was fired. I was really upset about it because I really liked that job. But yeah, the owner hated me. Speaking of me reminding him of his rebellious daughter, fact number 15, I was a rebellious teenager. I wasn't horrible. I wasn't that bad. Like when I think back on it, I'm like, I was mild. Like my misbehaving as a teen wasn't really that bad at all. Although I remember when I was 13, I had this boyfriend named Brian and he was 17. And we tried to run away together. He was from South Africa. The plan at the time is that we were gonna go to South Africa together, but obviously like I'm 13, he's 17, we don't have any money. It was like during the summer, so I didn't miss school or anything like that, but we just like stayed at one of my friend's mom's houses until my mom found me and like grounded me for 100 years or something. And then Brian and I inevitably broke up, and I have no idea where he is or what he's doing with his life now. Fact number 16, I did get kicked off the cheerleading team for cutting school. I actually really enjoyed being a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader, and they kicked me off because I cut school. I was like, that's rude. Fact number 17, I get motion sickness. I went on a cruise once a few years ago and I got so sick. I still get motion sick in cars. I get motion sick on airplanes. It's really bad. I remember being like a little kid and getting motion sick in the car too. I love roller coasters though. It's weird. Fact number 18, I had LASIK in February of 2018. I used to wear glasses. I was nearsighted. My eyes weren't that bad, but I hated wearing glasses. I would always lose my glasses. I was like that guy that would fall asleep with them and then I would like crush them or crunch them. And I always hated wearing glasses too because it would like mess up my makeup. So I decided to have LASIK and I did it, and it was weird because you're awake and they put numbing drops in your eyes, but like you can feel the pressure, and there's a portion of the procedure where they, I don't know if it's like cauterizing something, but they burn some part of your eye somewhere and you can smell it. So it's weird. It was weird. It was so uncomfortable. I don't ever want to do it again. But I might. If my eyes get bad again, I might, because I think it's worth it. But that first night was horrible. It just like feels like there's sand in your eyes. But it's like, it was like one day, and then the next day I was like fine. I was like almost completely normal. Fact 19, I'm a Taurus. My birthday is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. A Taurus, I'm very stubborn. I like food. That's pretty much all I know about Tauruses, and it's exactly what I am. Fact number 20, my first car was given to me for free by a friend. It was a yellow Plymouth, like one of those old little boxy cars. It couldn't pass inspection and the radio didn't work, so I had a battery powered boombox that I kept in the car with like a CD player. Every time I went over a bump it would like skip. The car also had to like warm up. If it's cold outside and you start the car, you can't put it in reverse for at least 15 15 minutes or else it stalls. My car used to stall all the time, but I loved that car. Fact number 21. When I was 18 years old, right after I graduated high school, I took voice lessons with Dawn Lawrence, the same vocal teacher for Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga, Mick Jagger, and Axl Rose. Speaking of singing and wanting to be a singer, I've had multiple singing projects and bands from the time that I was like 14 until I was like 27 or 28. Fact number 23. I did have a song on Law & Order SVU. I think I've mentioned this before. I was part of a small songwriting team that answered a bid. It's the episode that is unofficially based on Rihanna and Chris Brown's story. It doesn't follow their story, it doesn't like retell their story, but it's a similar premise. The episode is called Funny Valentine, and it opens with the song that I sing. And portions of the song play all throughout the episode, kind of like centralized around this song that the female musical artist in the episode was recording with her producer. It was like her single, I guess. The song itself is kind of corny. We actually recorded the demo version just to send to them to say, here are our ideas. If they decide to hire you, they're supposed to say, okay, we're gonna take the song, maybe make these changes, and send us the final version. So when you make the demo, you're not expecting that the demo is going to be the song that they use. But I don't know if they were in a rush or what the deal was, but they were like, no, this is fine, like the demo version is fine, you don't have to re-record it. So the song that's in the episode is actually the demo version of that song, which none of us expected to ever see the light of day. But it's cool that it's my voice that the actress is like lip syncing to. As I mentioned earlier, not only did I want to be a singer, I wanted to be an actress. That also didn't totally work out, but I have acted in over a dozen feature-length or near feature-length films from the time that I was like 19 until I think 2015 was the last movie that I did. So that would be, I think I did 13 movies over the course of like 11 or 12 years. They were super silly and fun, like super B-movie, but those were like some of the best experiences of my whole life. And this Sunday, I'm actually doing an interview with a filmmaker who is producing a documentary on one of the directors that I worked with multiple times. So I'm actually going on Sunday to do my interview for that documentary, so it's kind of fun how it circles all back around. Same thing like with the Law & Order song and with the bands, like it didn't work out into a career for me as far as something that could pay my bills, but I have some really amazing, unique, wonderful memories from all of those experiences. In hindsight, it's easy to say that. At the time, you know, I'm poor, I don't have any money, I'm like bartending on my off time and saving up all the money that I can to use when I'm on site for a movie or on a tour or playing shows, because I never made money from anything. But it was great. I had some really good times. I don't regret it. Fact number 25. I've driven across the country multiple times just on a whim. My girlfriends and I decided one day just to drive to Chicago. Of course, we were young. This is not something that I would have fun doing now, but back then it was amazing. We drove to Chicago not knowing anybody, with nowhere to stay, and the first day that we were there, we were like, let's go get our hair cut. Like, let's go get a cool, fun Chicago haircut. And we picked a random salon to go to, and the stylist that ended up doing all of our hair, Carrie, we told her the whole story about how we had just driven down there and we didn't know anybody and we were just traveling for the sake of building really great memories. And she's like, well, you guys can stay with me. And so this super sweet, awesome girl let us stay with her in her condo. And we developed a really nice friendship. So it's amazing how that stuff works sometimes. Fact number 26. I am 34 and I've never had a cavity. Fact 27. This one's going back to me being younger now, jumping around. I loved Barbies. I played with Barbies until I was 12, and when I was 12 I decided that I should grow up, so I gave all my Barbies away and I regretted it for years. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. I've never had braces, but I've always wanted them. I don't necessarily need them, but in my mind I do. I mentioned earlier that I was a bartender. I was a bartender for 6 years. I had multiple careers. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. Fact number 30. I do weird things with my mouth, and I've noticed this a lot more since I started my YouTube channel. While I'm editing my videos, I notice the way that I talk is like strange. I also stick my tongue out when I concentrate, and I like talk out the side of my mouth. I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that I had a speech impediment, but I hate it. I never noticed how bad it was until I started editing my videos. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. Fact 31, I'm a huge klutz. I drop everything. It's so frustrating. Like, I have a container of water with a cap on it, and I'll take the cap off to fill the water bottle. I'll drop the cap like 5 times. It's crazy. I left the house today. I hold the door closed behind me, go to lock the door. I drop my keys 3 times. I don't know. I drop everything. It makes me feel like there's something wrong with my brain. Like, you cannot trust me with fragile things. Fact 32, autumn's my favorite season. Halloween or Christmas are probably my favorite holidays. Fact 33, I am extremely impatient. I've just always been that way, and it's gotten a lot better, but I'm still working on it. Fact 34, I did not like pizza when I was growing up. I just didn't like it. I didn't get excited about it until I was like 30. Fact 35, I have a huge DVD collection. I have over 1,000 DVDs. They're all in boxes in my basement that I've just been carrying around from house to house each time I've moved, that I haven't even opened my DVDs in years, and I will not part with them. I won't. But I have nowhere to put them. I don't even know if I have a DVD player. Fact 36, I always loved shoes. Even when I was a little kid, I remember having temper tantrums in the store anytime my mom would take me out. If we went anywhere that had a shoe, if I saw shoes in a window or inside a store in an aisle, I wanted those shoes, and I would throw my body on the floor and I would flail around and I'd kick my legs if my mom would not buy me shoes. I always loved shoes. Fact 37, I love plants, but I've killed every single plant I've ever had, and that includes cactuses, like immediately. If it's in my possession, it's dead, honestly. Fact 38, my name. I should have started with this one. My name is Desiree Rose. Fact 39, I don't like popcorn. Fact 40, I don't like anything crunchy. In fact, like chips, the only things that I want to be crispy and crunchy are my fruits and vegetables, like apples and celery, cucumbers, things like that. Everything else, I want it to be soft. Fact number 41. One night, 2 of my friends and myself wrote a rap song, recorded ourselves rapping, and posted it on YouTube. I quickly deleted it. It was bad. And the internet's forever. Like, somebody might have saved that video and it'll come back to haunt me in the future. Fact 42, I am 5'8". I'm a little bit taller than average. I might be shrinking now though, that I'm like in my 30s. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting shorter, but I'm still taller than all of my friends. I actually look like a freak in photos with friends because all my friends are like basically the same size, and then I'm like a head above everybody. I don't know why that is. Fact number 43, I don't like crowds or chaos. Fact 44, I cannot tan. I go straight from white to red and back to white. I've been tan maybe only 2 times in my life. I also don't like the sun. Fact 45, I was a really cringy teenager. I like went on TRL. Do you guys remember Total Request Live? It was like a TV show on MTV. It was hosted by Carson Daly. I'm not gonna tell you what my favorite band was when I was in high school, but I will tell you that every time they were on TRL, I was either outside or inside, every time. And there was an instance that I was on camera, outside. I answered a trivia question about one of the members of the band, and I won free tickets to their concert. And there was an instance where I was on camera inside, like requesting a song. And then again, because I, along with my art teacher at the time, painted a cardboard cutout of the singer of the band and brought it with me to the studio, and there was coming back in from a commercial break or exiting to a commercial break that the camera panned to the cardboard cutout that I painted and kind of like showed me like bopping it around. MTV also had that TV show Fanatic, and I made a Fanatic tape submission for this same band. I never sent it to MTV. I don't think I still have the video. I hope that one day I find it. I don't think I still have it. I must have destroyed it a long time ago. Fact 46. Going along with my rebellious teenage years, I got a fair amount of piercings over the course of my life. Now I have none. The only thing I have pierced still are my ears. But when I was a teenager, I got my tongue pierced twice. I had my tongue engaged. I got my belly button pierced on the top and the bottom. My bottom left lip was pierced here. I got a Monroe piercing. I had my nose pierced, my septum, tragus, industrial, and conch, and nothing now. Piercings like never healed on me. I don't even know why I got all these piercings. They just never healed right. Fact 47, I went to cosmetology school, but I didn't finish. I've actually considered going back. Fact 48, I was generally a poor student. I was like the kid that the teachers would say, oh, she has so much potential. She just has to apply herself. I was so bored. Like I did really well in English and art, and I did poorly in math. I just didn't want to be there. But I'm definitely kind of an airhead sometimes. Fact 49, oh boy. Right now I'm driving a 2017 bright red BMW Gran Turismo, and I love it. It's like probably my favorite car ever, but it's like so douchey. Sorry guys. Fact number 50, I'm married. I met my husband at a mutual friend's wedding back in 2011. He and I were both there with other people. We didn't have any kind of relationship whatsoever when we were still involved with other people. It was basically wasn't until years and years later, it wasn't until 2016 that he and I were both single at the same time that he asked me out and I went. And there's a bigger story to that too that I actually don't want to even include in this video. I want to include it in its own video because I feel like it's a story that should be told on its own, and this video is probably already way too long. So I'm gonna end it there. So those are my 50 facts, including the extra one about my surgery on Monday. I don't really know how I'm gonna be feeling next week because I'll still be recovering, but I might make a video kind of documenting the process of my surgery if I can. Either way, I'll be back next week. Thank you for watching. See you next time.